If there isn't a song about it, there should be. Don't you know that's the night when we nuked Georgia? Welcome to American Esoterica. If history class gives you the lemons, this is the lemonade. The essential stuff in between, the personalities, events, and other ephemera that shape our history and culture. I'm Brian Powers. To me, this is a horror story, and I'm going to warn you right now that the ending is the scariest part. It's because it involves the worst nightmare of every kid since the beginning of the Cold War, the threat of nuclear annihilation. And not just anywhere, but right here in the United States. This is about the night we nuked Georgia. You've probably heard of the term broken arrow. In this context, it means an accident involving nuclear weapons. The United States has officially had at least 32 of these incidents. But declassified documents suggest that there are hundreds more accidents involving our nuclear arsenal that aren't included in the official count. Part of the problem stems from the fact that we used to just load up planes with nuclear bombs and keep them flying as a fast response force in the event of an attack. These accidents are fairly horrifying to consider. One nuclear bomb that accidentally fell in North Carolina in 1961 had a series of 6 safety switches that had to be triggered to result in a nuclear detonation. The fall threw 5 of them, with maybe only one switch standing between a mishap and the annihilation of Goldsboro, North Carolina. There were 2 bombs that fell in that incident, too. The other drove itself more than 20 feet into the ground, but was recovered relatively easily. Our focus today, though, involves a broken arrow incident that occurred in 1958. A B-47 nuclear bomber was conducting a simulated combat mission based out of Homestead Air Force Base in Florida. It carried a 12-foot-long Mark 15 bomb weighing 7,600 pounds that had a potential yield of upward of 1.8 megatons, and maybe even as much as 4 megatons, 100 to 200 or more times greater than the bomb dropped on Hiroshima. F-86 fighter jets were given the role of enemy aircraft to simulate interception of the bomber. But at around 2 a.m. near the Georgia coast, one of the jets didn't see the bomber in its radar and collided with the B-47 at around 38,000 feet. The F-86 lost a wing and went straight down. But the B-47, despite losing an engine and suffering a huge hole in a wing, managed to stagger around and prepare for an emergency landing. With a seriously wounded plane and a very large bomb on board, the crew decided that they would be risking a very large explosion if something went wrong during the landing process, which could shoot the bomb out the front of the plane if it stopped short on the runway. They decided to jettison the bomb. They flew out from the coast of Savannah, and about a mile offshore from Tybee Island, Georgia, they released the bomb into the relatively shallow water where recovery crews would be able to locate it easily. The bomber landed safely, and the F-86 pilot also managed to eject and was found in a South Carolina swamp. The Goldsboro and Tybee Island incidents aren't the only time nuclear bombs accidentally impacted on American soil. Plane crashes and other incidents brought nuclear ramifications to sites in South Carolina, California, Indiana, Maryland, Washington State, Kentucky, Florida, and New Mexico. We've also lost nuclear weapons in other countries and even out over the Atlantic Ocean. So why is the bomb dropped off of the coast of Georgia different from all of these other domestic incidents, any one of which is a horror story in its own right? Because to this day, the bomb off the coast of Tybee Island has never been recovered. Shortly after the incident, a 100-person Navy team spent 10 days searching for the bomb, then gave up. A retired Air Force colonel thought he had located the bomb in 2004, but investigators believe that the increased radioactivity in the area he had pinpointed came from natural sources. the Air Force has made a determination that it's probably best to leave the bomb wherever it is, for safety. Accounts differ on whether the bomb can detonate and cause a nuclear explosion. But what's not in dispute is that the bomb does contain both conventional explosives and enriched uranium. It is, after all, a nuclear bomb. And it's a mile or so off the beach in Savannah, Georgia. Sleep tight, everybody. This has been American Esoterica. All sounds were made by me, Brian Powers. Did I get it wrong? Did I get it right? Just want help finding the quickest route out of southern Georgia? Drop me a note. The address is yell@americanesoterica.com. Thank you for listening, and God bless America.